is it finally time to gag DA Fani Willis, right? There's a lot of legal experts from both sides that really do believe it's long overdue. Now, personally, I do not support gag orders of any kind, especially for defendants in criminal cases or anyone who's charged with defending themselves. They should be able to say damn near whatever they want, right? Because there's already laws that prohibit us from doxing a public official or calling for any kind of violence or any kind of dangerous things like that. So I truly do not see the point of a gag order, and I have a real hard time seeing how it's even constitutional, right? And, that said, I also don't believe that it's necessary or should be necessary to gag a public official because they should already have a pretty tight legal leash as it is. I mean, it does not make sense for a Fani Willis to be able to go out and give race-baiting speeches meant to disparage a defendant and poison the jury pool, because that's what they are. Just like you shouldn't have people like Adam Schiff claiming to have seen real evidence of something as a result of his trusted position on an intelligence committee. And really, I see no difference in any of that behavior. All any of it is just another example of Democrat politicians believing that they can do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it. And anyway, it looks like silencing Fannie may actually be happening.
Fulton County DA Fani Willis faces some new legal hurdles in former President Trump's Georgia election interference case. One of his co-defendants is now claiming Fani Willis illegally recorded a phone call with his attorney in an unrelated case in a different state, Maryland. That defendant says, quote, if Willis does not recuse herself from this case by noon on Monday, I may have no other choice than to pursue all lawful remedies. Meanwhile, Fani Willis has repeatedly spoken publicly about the Georgia election case.
Recently, they tell me they don't like me to talk about race. Well, I'm going to talk about it anyway. Truth is, it's some challenges that come to being black. Let's say it for the record. I'm not embarrassed by anything I've done. I don't feel like we've been slowed down at all. I do think that there are efforts to slow down this train, but the train is coming.
Right out of her mouth. Oh, my goodness. Trump has a gag order and she doesn't? Now, some co-defendants in the Georgia case are reportedly considering pressing for a gag order against Fani Willis. Last week, the judge ruled against Donald Trump's motion to dismiss the entire case. We'll see what happens next. Carrie Kupek-Urban, Fox News legal editor. So let's just start with a gag order on her. We know she likes to campaign. She's not running for anything right now. Is it a reality TV show? What?
So let's talk first about what the purpose of gag orders are in the first place. And it's to prevent harm to the case or the people involved in the case that otherwise could not be undone. And we've seen these gag orders slapped again and again after one person and one person only. And his name is Donald Trump. But my question, Harris, is how is the harm that they say Trump is causing by tweeting about political bias any different or worse than, say, the district attorney in Georgia talking publicly about the case, saying things like, God is on my side, or Letitia James, the attorney general in New York, salivating over properties that Trump owns on Twitter, live tweeting all of those events? Because let me tell you something, if I'm a business person in New York, I'd be very worried that she would do the same to me and apply the law in a way that's never been applied before against me. Just doesn't matter that I'm not Trump. She's done it once. Why would she do it again? And if I'm a potential juror in Fulton County, how would I not be intimidated by the district attorney, a very powerful law enforcement officer, making all of these comments? How would I not be nervous to not potentially side with her if I'm on that jury?
I'm going to go a little bit further than that. You think a judge would be? Because I've always wondered if, in fact, she was watching in a sequestered area her ex-lover, Nathan Wade, on the stand, and that judge didn't ever even put that on the record to even ask her. I mean, she comes out all in a huff, her hair, all over the place, and she's just got to get on that stand. Her attorneys are trying to keep her from testifying. This was in the first go-around. We showed it stem to stern here on Fox. Who is intimidated by this woman? I think that's a fair question. And if intimidation is something that a gag order would solve, why don't they put one on her?
Right. And it's, again, only been applied against one person one way. And let's not forget, in the civil fraud trial, in that situation in New York, the ACLU, who is no friend of Donald Trump, suggested that gag orders against him are election interference. That's the ACLU talking.
The ACLU used to be pretty impressive, right? They were always political. They've always been just as political as any other organization, but they used to stand up for the Constitution and what was right, no matter the party. it was not an uncommon thing for them to stand up for anyone's rights that were being infringed upon, right? But it has not been like that for decades, probably since the Bill Clinton era, basically. But anyway, these are people that hate Donald Trump. And if they're coming out and talking about gag orders on President Trump being a form of election interference, we'd probably be pretty smart to listen. Now, obviously, I don't think they go far enough. I think the entire exercise is one election interference conspiracy on top of another. I think that's really the conversation the ACLU should be having, but it is impressive to see them saying something at least. But that's just my take, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.